Hello, good evening. Welcome to the TOGA Motorsport live event of the Porsche Cup GB. Thank you, Owen. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we're at Donnington. It's beautiful and sunny. If it was real life, it would probably be underwater and drivers would need canoes. So, yeah, absolutely. If you are in the chat, please, as Owen says, smash that like button. If not, Hayden is going to fire me, basically. So, you are liking for my life and my livelihood. I'm joking. Yeah, we're at Donnington. It's not going to be a full grid tonight, unfortunately, but myself and Julius have been talking, and basically, the drivers who have turned up tonight have been practicing, putting an effort to set up, and it's only fair to them that we celebrate what happens tonight as it is. It's good to see everyone in the chat, and Quips Racing. Don't need to explain, Will. Urlan, good evening. Right, I would also, like to welcome our good friend Julius into the chat. We are co-commentating tonight for this. So, Julius, good evening.
Good evening, and thank you, David. I mean, Mr. Coulthard. Was it?
You had to, man. That was good. So, basically the laugh behind this is right up until last week I've been getting Julius's name correct, and then I just went to pot. I've called him Julian, I've spelled Julius wrong, I'm now calling him Jules because it's just so much easier, and poor Julius is put up with so much from me. So yeah, absolutely. Are you looking forward to tonight, Julius?
Yeah, I am. I mean, Donnington is absolutely a lovely track, but it's, well, it's better when there's Porsche Cup with it, so
yeah,
we're gonna
absolutely.
have some sideways, probably some spins.
Yep.
And
hello.
the car, once you get the car working, it's absolutely fun. But my skill level, I can't handle it. So maybe we should talk a little bit more about these cup cars.
Absolutely.
Like what's they about and
absolutely.
So
So I don't know very much about them because I don't go near them, because they are absolutely like a skill level, 20 skill levels above my skill level. The most I know about it is there's no traction control. So you are literally having to control the car with your right foot at all times. You cannot just smash that loud pedal and expect it to stay where it is. It's not a GT3 car, it's not a GT4 car. That's as much as I know about it. So, Julius, have you got anything better to add to that?
no, well, it has something same with GT3s and GT4s. It's a Porsche, and well, it has ABS. So
Yeah.
well, that's what it have.
That's it basically. That is it in a nutshell.
And speed-wise, it's in between.
Yeah,
actually.
Absolutely. It's almost like a hybrid of what you'd expect a GT4, GT3 car. They still do have, as Julius just said, they have got ABS, so you can absolutely smash that brake pedal and still control it, but you need to be very sensitive with the right foot at all times. So, I mean, we are just amazed at how these drivers can control these cars so well. They make it look easy, Julius. It just looks like a normal GT3 race.
Yeah, I mean, watching them driving the laps, it just looks like everything is in control, and I mean, wow.
I haven't, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, commentators curse. I haven't seen anyone out of control yet. And we've only got 2 minutes left of free practice, so to me, Donnington is not an easy track at the best of times. I don't know how Julius feels about it. I love the track. I used to race it in TOGA with the PlayStation 1, But oh my word, you need to be so precise with every input for every corner. Every corner is just completely different. It's not like Suzuka where you have fast flowing corners that you can keep the car at a certain pace or a certain position. You're constantly having to change position. How do you feel about Donnington, Julius?
Yeah, exactly like you said, it's not like those typical tracks like Suzuka where it has some, like you say, flow into it.
Mm-hmm.
This track is like very changing. It has elevation,
Mm-hmm.
it has some fast long corners,
Mm-hmm.
also a couple heavy brakings. Then we have the little bit annoying chicane there.
Yeah.
It's very easy to run on the gravel, at least in my level of
It
skill again. But
is so difficult to get right, that chicane. It is so difficult. You even if
yeah,
you get the first part of the chicane right, you unless you're perfectly lined for the exit of it, you either the car will start bouncing like a kangaroo, it'll just spin you around until you hit a barrier or some other object. Yeah, it's so difficult to get right, and to get it right consistently. And I always batter on about this, but consistency is the key to anything. Whether it's practice, whether it's qualifying, whether it's racing, if you're not consistent, then you're going to be nowhere near the front. You know, you can be the fastest driver in the world, but if you can only put a couple of laps together and then the next 3 or 4 are go all to pot, no use. Absolutely no use. I am going to play absolutely stupid here, and I am so sorry. I didn't realise we had a celebrity in the grid tonight, so I'm gonna have to obviously have up my game on my research for this. If I mean everyone else seems to know who he is, so my apologies. Bad commentating from my side. Julius, have you heard of the cat collector?
what?
So the Mr. Wright that we're watching just now seemingly is a high profile YouTuber, famous YouTuber, Simquips. Seemingly, I don't know, there's something about maybe a nickname of the cat collector or something, I don't know.
Oh,
I'll take that as a no as well, so I don't feel so bad that I'm not as prepared as I should be. Oh, Chris collects stray cats, that makes absolute sense. Andy, thank you for saving my blushes. That is very kind of you. I will definitely do some research. So I will. But these cars just look so beautiful. You know, we've got a black and gold, we've got the blue, we've got the pink, we've got purple for Meekin. Yeah.
yeah, the cars is absolutely good looking.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Porsche, certainly nowadays, they don't really produce an ugly car as such.
Porsche Missionaire.
Well,
But well, that's a concept, so
yeah.
we can forgive them.
So we have got Simquips in the chat now. I am so sorry, Simquips. I am oblivious to the whole thing, so you will need to forgive me. Chat has been updating me with who you are and what's going on. And you collect stray cats. Amazing. Amazing. Anyway, I shall let you race. So we have got, let's just go here. We've got 10 minutes of qualifying. Now let's sort things out. So it looks like Elias Fernando. We all know Elias. Elias is a good driver.
Yeah, he is.
And in fact, is he not racing? He's racing in the Porsche and the GT in the multi-class, isn't he? No.
Yes, he's
Is
racing
he?
Porsche.
Yeah. I sometimes doubt myself. That's why Julius is here. Julius is basically my carer for this evening and will be taking care of me and looking after me and making sure I say things that are correct. And most of all, saying his name correctly as well.
Yeah.
Is there anyone, I know some of the drivers, we don't really know much of their pedigree, much of their sim racing experience, but Is there anyone you think may be very, very quick, or someone that should be watched quite closely?
I mean, obviously, Fernando is one, no doubt.
Yep.
I mean,
Now I know who. Now I know some.
it's a bit hard because when I watch this and think about, I mean, it's Porsche Cup.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
just about who can handle the car the best.
Absolutely.
Also, so I mean, you can be, like you said, the consistency is key. You can be absolute one of the fastest drivers, but if you just can't put it together, there's no point. It won't take you anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got a new subscriber.
So I don't want to
Urlan
jinx it. because if
Guillermo
I say
is a
something,
legend and subscribed to the channel.
it might be we can find them in the wall. So
Yep.
hey guys,
No, that can't be right. You've heard the owner of TOGA is very quick at eating, very quick at drawing doodles. You might need to be a bit more specific about that one. Sorry, I'm just.
and I don't know why I laughed for that, but
Do you know, see if my skill level was better. If my skill level was better, I mean, I did race a Porsche in 1.8 for a while, and I actually really enjoyed the car, but I struggled so much with the weight difference when it got down to low fuel, because obviously the fuel tank, and sorry if I'm telling everybody what they already know, the fuel tank in the Porsche is at the front and the engine is at the back. So as you're losing fuel by the lap per lap, the front tires are getting less and less weight on them, which then it becomes a real issue. That's when you start earning your money. So you do. So we've got Crook, who is in car number 8, has set the fastest lap so far with a 129.332. It's interesting. Fernando has also done a flying lap. And at the moment, yeah, it's looking quite close, I have to say. I know this is the first one, so sorry, I haven't actually went through the race format, because this is quite a unique race format that we're running tonight at TOGA. And it basically goes like this. we had P1 a practice for 10 minutes. We now have 10 minutes of qualifying 1. We then go into 15 minutes of race 1. There's a very short break to allow the drivers go away, have a comfort break, or get some water. They then go into a second qualifying round, which is 10 minutes, and then a second race of 15 minutes. There are no pit stop requirements. It's an out-and-out battle for 15 minutes to see who is going to take home the win. So that's the format we have for tonight. I think it's a really good format. I think it freshens things up. If you have somebody who has got an advantage over the rest of the field, they're only getting into their stride 15 minutes into the race. You know, they're only finding their feet, or have just found their feet, and then you stop them, and then they need to qualify again, and then they need to race again. So for me, this really is all about how you set your mind up to be able to do 15 minutes, change back to being qualifying pace, to then change back to being race pace. I mean, how do you feel about the whole configuration of the championships, Julius?
I mean, like you said, obviously once the championship was announced, and I was watching it and seeing at first I was like, 15-minute race, it's a bit low, but the more you think about it, it's an guaranteed last.
Yep.
It's no saving on tires,
Nope.
no saving on fuel. It's just full on.
Yeah, absolutely. From as soon as the lights go green to the checkered flag, you have to be at your best full race pace. There's no allowing a couple of laps to get yourself sorted. You just have to be that good and on the power. So at the moment, Fernando just takes over with a 129.225. Elias Fernando in the pink Porsche doing an absolute amazing job. I noticed he had a bit of oversteer as he came out. Now, having the fact that he doesn't have traction control, a bit of oversteer is nothing, but has he got a little bit of time left that he can do something? Now, Crook is... I don't know if Crook's back... He hasn't shown back to the pits, but he's a huge gap for time. So, Marsh...
And Fernando is at the moment pushing for his best lap. Not by much, but still. He's going to improve.
Absolutely. He's now 5, coming up to 600ths of a second faster. Now, Donnington is not a long track. As you can tell, 129 isn't a long track at all. As long as you get everything right. Look at the suspension. Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he just got a little bit wrong going through the S's there. So let's see, can Crook... Now, I don't know what's going on with Crook. He's like 32 seconds. I don't know if he's went back to the pits and has just come back out again, but he is looking to improve. So this is going to reset him.
Baldo is also.
Who was that, sorry?
Baldo at first, but then something happened.
Yeah.
But Wright is 7/10 up from his best. 8/10 now.
Oh, so he is. Wow.
Crossing the line.
Only to go 7th. That is how close this entire field is. The top 6 are all in the top 5 are all in the 129s. This is going to be interesting.
Pierce to 6, there's only 8/10.
Yep.
And now Afonso seems to getting a better lap. He's 5/10 up.
Yep. Everybody's improving.
It's like when watching these times, it can be 5/10 at once and then it just drops. It's that important with these Porsche Cup cars. You had a little bit of oversteer and it's instant half-second lost there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why in race, if someone is like 5/10 faster in Guali, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
Basically, when it comes to race, because one tiny bit oversteer and you lose that.
Yep.
And if you have 3 of those in a lap, that means 1.5 seconds.
Yep.
Lose.
It looks like Crook is going to take this, but sorry, Julius. Yep, Crook takes pole position again from Fernando, who's still in the pits. There is only 40 seconds left.
Seems like no one is gonna.
Yeah, I can't see. Alfonso's 2/10, but he's nearly a second off pace at the moment of P1. So, do you want to run through our field as they stand, Julius?
I can run it. So we have Crook in P1, Fernando in P2, Mars is in P3, Byrne in P4. Then we have Daniel Strating in P5, Afonso in P6. We have Wright in P7 and Thompson in P8. Then we have Donkerwalk in P9. We have Topalov in P10, Meekan in P11, Paldo in P12. In P13 we have Feder, in P14 we have Cornelius, and rounding up the 15 car grid is Begagli.
Beautiful. And Becagli is the only person not to set a lap in qualifying. I don't know if they came in late or what, but we are almost ready for race 1 of the Porsche Cup, round 1 of Great Britain. Why is everyone so fast? I genuinely thought you were going to take pole the way you were going around the track there, but yeah. I mean, I don't know much about Crook, but I know Elias Fernando is a fast driver.
Yeah.
Normally McLaren, but he races in a multi-class in the GT4 Porsche. So, and that's us. That's everybody over the line now, by the looks of it. Yeah, Meekin is now cutting some grass, or I'm not quite sure what he's doing just now. So, that is the roundup.
And we have Ollie in P15. At least the game says so.
Do we? It's just so Bicagli.
I don't know. For me, some way, it must be a book or something.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know Ollie was racing.
Oh, Sim quips. No. You are now that you are definitely the cat collector. How many cats do you have? Yeah, good luck to all drivers. If you are listening to the stream, if you've got it on in the background, we always appreciate it. So thank you very much. We are going to do a formation lap, and then we will be racing. So if you have comfort break time, or a cup of tea, or a cup of hot water and lemon, whatever it is, go get that just now. You have got 2.5 minutes. See the grass. I won't focus on your quips so that I don't do a commentator's curse on you. But yeah, this is going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to this. We have got, I believe, 3 stewards tonight, or definitely at least 2 live stewards tonight. Not the way we use dead stewards, but you know what I mean. Oh, I think I need a cup of tea. So we have live stewarding every single race. If you're new to TOGA Motorsport, we have live stewarding. We have live commentaries. We run really, in my opinion, very competitive championships. And Crook has got a 5-second.
Yes, it's come from Guali, because there have been contact between Crook and Begagli.
Wow.
So Begagli being given 10 seconds.
Wow. Okay, so that is going to have a huge impact when it comes to Elias Fernando. I know he won't do this, but could very well just sit in the back wing of that Porsche of Crook and just make sure he's in 5 seconds, and you know, it's his. But I know Elias is not like that. Elias will go for the win. But yeah, that is and
yeah, that's mentality of racing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know you can have to win. You know you can have to win, but still it's a competition, and you wanna do it with style, and you wanna pass. You wanna show that I'm taking this.
Exactly. You want to win it on your own merit. You don't want to win it because someone else has got a penalty. So,
yeah,
this will be interesting. All of these cars relatively similar. I do not know how much setup changes you can make on them. You're coming for Alfonso. Oh, that's some fighting talk right there. I don't know. I think Alfonso might have a blue light on his dashboard or something with that 999 Porsche. But yeah, this is what we're looking forward to. So yes, so TOGA, that's what we do. We also offer driver coaching by Crips, who was in the channel earlier on. We have Airy, who is a commentator, a steward, a mod. Airy is also a livery designer and has designed some beautiful liveries for some of the drivers in the community. The links to Discord, the links to all our social medias are in the description below. Obviously wait till we've finished the 2 races, but please go check us out. Give us a like, give us a follow. You will not be disappointed. We are putting up videos every single day on YouTube, on TikTok. Our Instagram is blowing up at the moment, so yes, please have a look at all of that. And if you do want to join us, please, we are a very friendly community. We have different levels of drivers. For me, I'm racing in the rookie championship, and I think I'm last. But we have like the likes of Owen, we have the likes of Kiki, Gallo, who are both challenging for the multi-class GT3 championship. We have some very top-notch drivers. We also have Tobes, or Tobs, who are an esport team that are affiliated with TOGA. So if you feel that you'd like to try and do esports racing with other esports drivers, then you can certainly apply for it through TOGA with Tobs. So that's the range of things we offer. But yeah, I hope that you all enjoy this. This is going to be good. So I'm going to have a drink just now while they're lining up just at the S's.
Yeah, I would like to personally add to that. Joining TOGA was, honestly, when it comes to sim racing and all of that, it was the best decision I've made. So, if you're not already part of TOGA, you should be now.
Okay, so they are just lining up now at Goddard's, ready to turn onto the straight, all bunched up, all ready to set the 70 kilometer an hour speed limit, and you can see we are about ready to go. Just waiting on the lights turning green. A long straight, and there we go. We've got green. We are off. And already Elias Fernando looking to try and get past Crook by any way he can, but it's looking at the moment, I don't want to jinx things, but everybody looks like they're through without any contact.
Yeah, no spinners here.
And
oh, now someone got wide.
Oh, yep. And that is Bayern. Oh dear, let's have a little replay and see. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. Just as he's coming down. Oh, he dips his wheels on the grass. He dips his right wheels on the grass and just spins and collects the barrier as well. So Meekin is now also showing something's happened to Meekin. Just going to go back here. So Meekin in the purple Porsche. Not quite sure. Is it? Yeah, he's just cooked it on the throttle. And that spun him round. Remember, these cars do not have traction control. So we're back. There's a big train here, and we're going to focus on right at the moment because there was a lot of fighting talk about trying to get past Afonso, and at the moment not able to get that done. He has Thompson in the 521 Porsche behind him, looking to try and capitalise as well as they come round for the first lap completed. We still have Crook. Crook has a 2-second gap ahead of Fernando. This is exactly what we wanted, close racing. Are you quite surprised that we've only had 2 spinners in the first lap, Julius?
Yeah, I'm absolutely. It's watching these cars, they're so close together. That's why I was like, mouth open, but no words, just heavy breathing.
Is truly is amazing.
It's unbelievable. I was expecting some sort of like little bit of chaos here, but
yep,
everyone, it was clean start, and
Bayern,
that's what we want. And as we said, there's a yellow flag.
There is Federer. Let's just have a little look back. Oh, I think he's taken. Yeah, he's went on to the green Astro turf, and that sent him. Porsche is heavily damaged now, so I wonder if he'll need a repair. Fernando is now 3 seconds behind Crook. Crook could, if he keeps this pace up, have over 5 seconds ahead of Elias to still come in P1.
Yeah, he's having a fast pace.
He is, absolutely. Elias at the front of this train now. There is 6 cars involved in this train. And as we said in qualifying and practice, Elias is a fast driver. So all of these 6 drivers are fast. They're all trying to keep within touching distance of each other, just in case there's a little mistake from someone. And without traction control, it's very, very easy to end up making a mistake.
Yeah, it is very easy to make. And also shame for the car that have a little bit of damage, because the one bad thing about this, it's 50-minute race, so if you have contact, you know, it's soon over and you can have another race. But then also, if you bin it, there's no way you can come back.
No, absolutely not. You don't have time to pit, because as much as the pit is short in Donnington, you're going to end up at the back of the pack. So you are. So absolutely, as Julia says. And it looks like Fernando's a little bit slow coming out of there. Marsh is on his rear bumper just now. And look at that, Marsh has got an amazing exit out of Goddard, but he's just not able to make any headway at all.
There's no big differences between the gaps. Obviously we have the biggest gap between Krug and Fernando, but other than that they're pretty packed.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm just having a quick look at Bayern. Bayern was very, very close there to Meehan, but again, these cars are so evenly matched. It's all about how you drive them, is how you will get past. Fernando is now 4.3 seconds behind Krug, so another couple of laps and I think Krug will be past that 5-second penalty that he's got. Oh, and right, getting a little bit bumpy over the that right-hander. That curb can be very unforgiving. As he's coming down to the S's, is he going to try and make up any of that gap with braking? As always, the big bales that sits in that S's, it's the first thing that gets knocked off when you go round the first lap. It's still all fairly close fighting. There's a slight gap now between everybody. I think the closest we've got is Baldo, Davide Baldo, with Donkervolk ahead of him. And that Porsche has got a little bit of damage on its front as well, so...
Also, Alfonso and Wright are pretty close together.
Yes, they are, absolutely. And Alfonso is on the back of...
And yeah, they have a three-way.
Yeah.
Potentially coming here with also Daniel's straighting. So this looks interesting.
This could get really interesting. These 3 drivers are evenly matched at the moment. It only takes...
little bit.
Yeah.
He lost little bit. Well, not little bit. He lost exactly 6/10 there, which allowed Thompson to come close.
And Alfonso is right on the bumper here. This is looking...
Is Thompson actually driving the older?
I think
Porsche.
possibly there was 2 cup cars that you can choose from. We're on board with Alfonso at the moment. He's only 0.2 of a second behind. Going into the S's, heavy braking, trying to pick that, and he picks it beautifully. Oh, he's getting a bit of oversteer. That is going to lose him time, and that is what I was talking about when I was talking about it's all about down to driver consistency. Meehan is all over the back here.
Yes, it really is about the
Now,
driver.
I think Meehan could go for the inside line here. He certainly looks like he's going for it. Enough room has been left, and Meehan takes that. Meehan up to 12th, but Cornelius looks like he's trying to come back on him now. Just having a little look at Goddard and trying to get a good exit. Oh my goodness! He managed to save that.
Held it.
That was a save and a
Oh.
half. He was going into the pits backwards if he hadn't saved that. And it's not good when that happens, trust me. I have unfortunately done that myself.
Yeah, I remember when there was some
It's not a pleasant
talking
experience.
about it.
And you have to do a 600 point turn to get your car turned round because the pit lanes are so narrow. It's just not good. We're back on board with Afonso now. Afonso is still close to straighten, not quite close enough to make any impact at the moment.
Mars is actually catching with Fernando. Fernando might have had some little bit of that oversteer because
Yep,
they're now getting very close together.
they absolutely are. And Crook is now 7 seconds ahead of Fernando.
He's absolutely doing great job.
He's just flying. He's off and running. Got a yellow flag. Got Thompson with a yellow flag. Let's see what happened there. Oh, he's went all kinds of ways round on the grass there. I think, was that the S's? Just out of the S's. Yep. He's done well to keep it off the racing line and allow that Porsche through. So yeah, so both. I can't even remember who I was looking at. The one that nearly ended up backwards in the pits, they both ended up with oversteer, throttle oversteer at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Well, it
Luckily
looks like Hayden's going to be back for Brands next week, so that's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on. I do believe
when Hayden is there, anything can happen.
exactly. I heard Hayden's going to win his championship. That's what I heard.
Oh.
I'm just throwing that out there.
But with Hayden, he has all the power in world, not in world, but in TOGA. He can. let's add some ballast to others. So when you basically are king, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly. When you're the owner of the entire brand and community, then you know the sky is your limit. So we're just watching. Marsh is very close. He's 7/10 behind just now.
And we might very soon see battle between Afonso and Straighting.
Yep. Wright unable to really gain anything back after his bumpy excursion.
Yeah, he had that little snap oversteer and
Yep.
that really hurt. I mean, once you have that moment, normally it gives your brain a little data that, you know, you don't think about it, but you start to take like little bit easier because you had that almost lost moment.
Yep.
So you don't think about it, but it just happens. And let's see this battle between Strading and Afonso. We're in the window of 6/10 now.
Yep.
So anything can happen, especially when going through this chicane.
And it is, I mean, I'm now looking almost 10 seconds between Crook and Fernando. Marsh is hanging on to Fernando, but he's just in that 7/10 and it just doesn't seem to be able to gain anything. I wonder how much aero wash comes off these cars. Topalov is only 3/10 behind now, behind that battered Porsche of Baldo. Going into Goddard's. A little bit of oversteer again. And Baldo looking as if he's just trying to break the slipstream. These cars sound absolutely amazing, so they do.
Yes, that's correct. Well, I think Porsche in general is like one of the best sounding cars, the 992 GT3. It has that beautiful sound,
Yeah.
but If I just choose the car with the sound, I found myself into the barrier, so...
Yeah, too much. That sounds nice. Oh no, I meant to be braking here. Oh no. Yeah, and it's when you're close to the wall. So say like Zolder, where you're really close to the pit wall before you're the first turn. The echo of the engine off it, it just yeah. I mean, I haven't been to many live races, but just the sound. The Bentley as well. The Bentley just had such a thunder about it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, Boatley also sounds good, but...
Yeah. Did you call it the Boatley there?
Yes, Lemoran.
I just caught that. I'm like, that doesn't sound like Bentley. The Boatley.
Oh, there's Topalov having some sideways moment in the exit. Nothing too serious.
Yeah, a little bit more under pressure now as well. Going wide. Oh, yeah. We've just seen that now. A whole tank slapper going on. That's going to hurt his time. So,
we still have... What happens between Fernando and Mars?
there's 5/10 between them at the moment. I don't know if Mars has just gained some time or Fernando's made a mistake.
These cars, actually, they're not that tow based. So when you're behind the straight, you can't catch too much because these cars don't have too much of track.
Yeah. It looks like this is going to be our finishing positions, unless there's any horrible mistakes near the end.
There's one more lap going to be so.
Yep. And it looks like Crook's just eased off slightly. We may be looking after his tyres or what he's doing, but he's consistently about 9.6 seconds ahead of Fernando. Now,
Yeah, he started, he did what needed, and he was like, yeah, give me 5 seconds.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can take it. Give me 10. Why don't you give me 10? I'll be fine. In fact, he does just go to 10 seconds now ahead of Elias. Mars is now run out of time. It's a do or die situation. He is obviously on the podium, but as Julia said earlier on, you don't come here to race to get third. You race to get first or second or the best position you can. So I think Elias has just got enough space, breathing room to come home in P2. But Bayern is very, very close to the back of Baldo again. He's got Topalov behind him. In fact, has Topalov lost a position? Because I'm sure Topalov was fighting Baldo. So Bayern is all over the back of this Porsche. I don't know why I keep saying Porsche. They're all Porsches, but you know what I mean. And he's got an amazing drive out.
And now Cruz comes out of the last corner. And, well, his wins the first start. Absolutely. Good job.
Oh, we've got a pass going on. We've got a pass going on down into the hairpin. A terrible exit for Baldo there, and Bayern slips past for
And
P8.
Fernando keeps the second, Mars is third, trading in fourth. Alfonso keeps
all over the curb there. Bayern and Baldo side by side going into Goddard. It looks like Baldo's going wide.
position.
It looks like he's trying to come back on the exit here. But no, it's not going to be enough. That is a snatch and a half from Bayern. Wow, that was some close battling.
Yeah, and that was only the first start.
Exactly. We have another qualifying to go, and then we have another race to go after this. So please don't look away, whatever you do, as Crook is just trying to light his tires up and destroy them completely. Crook also.
And now,
yep.
Here comes the 1 point. Now, if you finished like P5, you have points awarded, so you're gonna gain some. So now what you wanna do in the second start, you already have some good points coming, so you can try to take a little bit more risk into the second start.
Yep.
Also.
That is a very good point. So, yeah, This is going to be interesting. I wonder if it's going to be a very similar grid to what we had previously in the first race. So the drivers will have a couple of minutes to go away, get themselves a drink or a bathroom break or whatever it is, to get themselves refreshed, reset their mind, because they now have to go back to qualifying again. Some quips almost you had a horrendous bounce that just took away any chance you had of getting back onto Afonso there. So yeah, this has been very enjoyable. Certainly from my point of view, I've enjoyed this first race. How have you felt, Julius?
It was much cleaner than I was expecting, because even if looking the stewarding room, there's one line I can only smile of. There's only 2 incidents, actually, and none of them lead into a penalty. There's description of wibbly wobbly, which and then the other one is just an ACC thing. So
The stewards are having to make up some humour because they've nothing to do, so they don't. I mean, basically there was a bit of a them and us going on for the charity event. Unfortunately, the charity event has been cancelled, or it's been postponed until probably next year. But there was a them and us whole thing going on, and obviously stewards have got their slippers on, their sharpening pencils or crayons or whatever it is that they use, and you know, us commentators are at the sharp end of everything. You know, we're the ones that are getting really excited and things like that, and all they're doing is writing wibbly wobbly into a spreadsheet. I mean, come on. I think what we need to do is get them to do some jumping jacks or something, just to get them refreshed and ready for qualifying in race 2. I'm obviously joking. I am. This is not me being mean. This is just me having a bit of fun with them.
now we need some king magic and make things interesting for the second start. Just make it rain. No, please. No, please.
Jeez.
I'm here. I'm not driving, but even I don't want to see that.
No, could you imagine rain with a Porsche Cup car? Oh no.
Yeah, it must be the best way to spend a Friday. Oh my god. But obviously Krug. Give me 5 seconds.
Yep.
Just
Yeah, that's. I mean, probably didn't phase him at all. I don't know if he knew how much pace he had, but he certainly, he drove a faultless race. You know, he had 15 minutes of just putting in a good lap after a good lap. His fastest lap was a 128.7 for the race, so that was pretty good going. He was almost a second faster than Elias on every
at the opening laps.
Yep.
At least.
Yep.
Then it was around when it was around that 6 second. He just probably kept it that way, or Fernando found, or the others, not only Fernando, because Mars was only 3/10 behind Fernando, and so it's not only about that.
No, absolutely. Sim quips. We did a wet Paul Ricard Porsche Cup race the other week with 40 cars. It was indeed death. Oh, what? How long was the race? Ben, did you not see my off? Almost lost it in T4. I think it was close. Well, no, because you basically sailed off to the sunset and all the racing was behind you. So unfortunately, you haven't actually featured heavily at all in the race. You might need to back off a little bit and just bunch things up, and then no, but we did. It definitely didn't. I'm glad it didn't cause you any issues. So to answer your question, qualifying has just started. It was a 30-minute sim quips. Wow. Wow. So we are going again, and it looks like Stratton is maybe the first car out.
Will we see Ben Crook again setting the pace?
Exactly. I mean, he's set a high benchmark for this first race and qualifying. So I don't want to say the pressure's on him, but certainly it's expected of him in this race now that we know what his quality of driving is.
Yeah, and also we know Fernando was the first task like make him like "Oh, I'm gonna take this, and now he finds a new gear in that Porsche.
Yeah.
You never know.
Absolutely. And obviously, as much practice as you do, you never 100% know how the race is going to go. But once you've done the first race, you feel a bit more confident, or you feel a bit more settled because you know what the conditions are like, you know the track grip. So this second race might throw a couple of spanners in the works for this.
And I think that's why when I earlier said that I was at first when it was 15 minutes, I was like, but now you think about it, like you said, now you know the track.
Yep.
And everything in it. So basically, there comes the difference between this series to others. You know your pace.
Mm-hmm.
You know the pace of others.
Yep.
And what we have in like rookies and multi-class, we have one race per track.
Yep.
So once we know those things, it's already over. But now in here, you had the 15 minutes. If let's say Fernando and Mars been watching Fernando's lines 15 minutes, and now he basically knows how Fernando drives.
Absolutely.
So now he can change something into his setup.
Yep.
Which also these Porsche Cups cars are very different. They don't have that much different setup options, which makes them even more equal cars.
Yep. It's absolutely, if you're behind a car for a number of laps, you start to see a trend in how a driver takes a racing line. And as Julius just beautifully said there, you then think, right, I need to do something different, and rather than just following that line, I need to do something different to see if I can get a faster exit, or I can get deeper into the braking for it. So absolutely, I mean, every single lap you're behind a car, it should be a research job to see exactly what that driver's doing. And even the confidence, you can see if a driver is not confident, you can see that with how they're driving. And that means in your head, put a little bit of pressure on and see how they cope with it. Whereas if someone's confident, you know, like Ben was, then, you know, you're going to have to come up with a different strategy, because putting pressure on someone isn't going to work when it's the likes of Ben Crook. So, as we've been talking, the first three over the line are Stratton, who we're watching, Donkervolk, and Afonso, and Crook has just thrown in a 129.440 for P1 at the moment.
So it's even better than... No, last time it was 128.
Yeah.
So
that was his first lap,
then
so...
he's just warming the tires.
Yeah, absolutely. At the moment...
And yeah, Cornelius is in the old Porsche.
Right, okay. Yeah, that do you know what? That's a very brave choice. So
Yeah.
that is a very brave choice.
I noticed one difference between these cars when leaving the pit lane. The new Porsche, the old Porsche actually, it has already warm tires, so it has in the race where there is pit or like qualifying coming.
Yep.
It has little bit of advantage there, but then in a long run, it just can't. It's not that fast. It can compete with these new generation Porsche cars.
Absolutely. Even if it's small differences, they are still differences at the end of the day. You know, before when 1.9 came out, you know, there was such a big difference with obviously the physics and the car mechanics and everything else, and what I do love is the bop. That has changed so many things. How has anyone in chat been racing with a custom bop server yet? It is amazing to see some of the older cars now being used and still being competitive. It really is. We're now halfway through and we have Marsh, who is in P1 at the moment with a 129.402. So yeah, I mean, Crook knows he can do a 128, and he has a car in front of him. Oh, Donkervolk, I don't know what happened there. Oh, he was a little expedition off into the grass, unfortunately. But yeah, back to Crook. Let's have a look and see how Crook does. He's not improved. He's the exact same time at the moment on his lap. And in fact, Stratton...
Straighting goes, yes.
It does,
goes
absolutely. A 129.377.
You know, that's close between first and third.
Very, very, very. And in fact, Alfonso is 1 second faster than his previous, which would actually put him just ahead of Donkervolk in 5th place at the moment. Oops! And Daniel goes for a little spin there again. Marsh.
And that's what I was expecting with this second race. Now you have the knowledge of the track and all that things. So
yep, absolutely.
And Ben
goes faster, 128.6.
7 tenths.
Wow. He's just absolutely throwing that Porsche around and confident with it as well.
Seems like at least in Donnington he's in his own league.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's he is just steps ahead in terms of certainly this. It could be Donnington's his favourite track. We don't know yet.
Yeah, it can change in
absolutely.
weeks time when we hit Branch Hatch.
Mm-hmm.
It can definitely change.
Yep.
And now he's going. Actually, he's 5 tenths. Oh my god.
He is very.
Watching this makes me like, oh my god, why am I even racing?
why am I so slow? That's what I keep thinking to myself. The amazing thing.
That's why me and you are sitting here.
That's exactly. So those that can't race commentate, I think, is the best way of describing it just now. But the interesting fact is, Ben Crook is fastest in Sector 1 and Sector 3, but Daniel is fastest in Sector 2. Yeah, interesting. So Daniel looks like he's just trying to create a gap for himself for qualifying. There is 1.5 minutes left of this qualifying session.
Jesus Crooks. There is 1 second above Marsh.
Wow. 128.
He's still gaining more time.
Jeez, he's just absolutely getting into his rhythm. The interesting thing is Elias Fernando is only 6th fastest at the moment.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have enough time.
Surprise.
In fact, he's just coming over the line, so he's able to do his last flying lap at the moment, but this needs to be the flying lap of his life. And I don't mean anything against Elias, but I don't think he can beat Crook. Not with a 128.2.
No, 1.4 second to find this.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot.
But if we take Krug for now out of the picture, it's been changed since the qualifying one.
Yep.
And it's probably due to the fact that now it's the second time they can adjust those tire pressures if there was something wrong last time. So now they can tweak those ups and find couple tenths, which can end up like in Marsh's case in second. And in Fernando's he's dropped down to 6th, which is not what he's wanting.
No, absolutely not.
And I think the second start will be more, because yes, I just genuinely think there's something between those teeth. He you get like second life, you can have another try, but now Fernando is actually gaining a lot, so but same is right behind Fernando, so Fernando goes second.
Yep. So Fernando has found the pace, but
Maybe he's listening us and was like,
maybe
no.
Right, now I'm going to prove
That
them
would
wrong.
not be commentator's curse. That would actually mean we can boost people.
Exactly.
By saying too slow, and then...
Could you imagine us being motivational speakers for sim racing drivers? That would be amazing. Just stand at the side of the rig and throw water on them and tell them how bad they're doing and really getting them going. So how right looks he's
That's
two.
basically crew chief.
Yeah, that's crew chief, isn't it? Oh, and Wright finds himself still behind Afonso. It is almost the same. I think Bayern has certainly made a difference in this one, but certainly the rest look like they're in their similar positions from the last qualifying.
Yeah, I don't see too much difference. I actually go back and compare this.
Yeah, absolutely. You are absolutely right. It's shown Ollie as being in this race.
Yeah, that's why I was a bit... But then I realized it's the Aston, so...
Yeah.
He simply can't be. And that's why I was so confused that what are you doing here? So now we can see. So for the second start, there's Krug again on pole. In P2 we have again Elias Fernando. In P3 there's Mars again. And now there's a difference. Now we have in P4 Byrne, who was last time 5th, and Daniel Strating is in P5, and he was for the first start in P4. Then in P6 again is Afonso, P7 is again Wright, P8 again is Thompson, same with P9 and Tonkerwalk. And now for this start we have Paldo in P10, and last time he was in P13, so he made a little step up here for this second start. In P11 there's Mark Meehan, who gained up a 1 place from the first start. In P12 that is Topalov. He was last time in P10. And then in P13 there's Feder, who was in P11 for the first start. We have Cornelius in P14, which he was again. That's the old car, so there's might be one reason for that. Yep. And rounding up the grid again is Begagli, who this time around also didn't put any laps in Guali, and that's the difference between the last start. So there's many same places as they were for the first start, actually.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Chris is just saying that Afonso is his this time. And Big Milker is he's going to be in next week as well, so that's going to be good to see. So the drivers are just making sure that the setups are absolutely spot on. I dare say Elias is really going to be more looking behind him rather than in front of him, because once Ben Crook gets around the first couple of corners, I think you'll just see him kind of disappearing into the sunset again. Yeah, so Elias will be trying to make sure Mars doesn't get past him. It was a good fight in the last race between the two of them, and in fact Chris and Afonso had a good race as well, so let's just keep our eyes on. Now, one thing we didn't mention is there is one red flag. TOGA Motorsport could only afford one red flag for the stewards, and let's face it, if they're writing wibbly wobbly on spreadsheets, then you know Yeah, one flag's enough. So what happens is 20% of the grid crash in the first lap. There'll be a red flag. All drivers will then make their way back to the pits. The server will reset, and they'll go back to the grid position they qualified in and do another formation lap, and then they'll be racing. If the same thing happens the second time, it's just tough. You just need to get on with it. 521's not moving.
Yeah, I was watching the same.
I don't think he's clicked drive. Interesting. Yep, so he's going to be starting from the pits.
That's rough.
That is rough. That is not a nice feeling at all, especially when you spent time to actually qualify quite well up the grid as well. So the drivers are just warming their brakes and their tyres up, just in preparation for... It's a very short run down to the turn 1 for Donnington, so you really need your brakes on point. You need your brakes head up so that there's grip there for you to brake and going into red gate. So
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
like I said many times, now for this start, I expect something to happen. I just see it in the air.
You're just hoping that red flag is used. We've spent all that money in the red flag, you just want to see it getting used.
Well, I don't want to see red flag, I want to see multi-fighting.
Absolutely. I know, and it's inevitable. You know, every driver, regardless of their driving skills, it happens to everyone. It happens to the best, it happens to the brand new people. So, yeah, absolutely. We don't want to see a red flag. We just want to see very close racing.
And quickly before the start, red flag is actually very, you get yourself up and then comes red flag and you have to do it again. So now this is what these guys have to do, but
yep, absolutely.
Soon it's gonna start. Let's see Fernando, what is he gonna do, and all the others, what is going to happen when we hit green.
Here we go, and we're off again. So Eli's tucking in behind Ben Crook just now, but oh, is that Bayern who's got past Marsh? No, it looks like, I thought Bayern was in the white. It is, Bayern is up into the P3, so he's past Marsh. We've got a yellow flag for Topolov. I don't know what quite happened there. Let's have a look. Was there
something at the background?
Oh, he got tagged in the back.
No,
so he did.
No.
So that's unfortunate. So it is. So
there's also other car out of the track.
Donkervolk.
Couldn't see who.
Oh, yep. There's contact. He's off into the gravel and been able to bring it back out onto the track. Baldo is having a fight with Chris Wright at the moment. They've got Meekin in front of them at the moment.
Absolutely close together, straighting Fernando, and actually straighting passes to Marsh.
He does indeed, underbraking for the Melbourne hairpin, so that's a move up for him. Marsh is unfortunately dropping down to, I think, no fault of his own. Maybe he's finding it longer to get the tyres hit up or something. But he needs to be careful. We've got oh my goodness, what has happened here? We've got 3 cars all jammed into the pit straight. This has got to be a meme. This has got to be a meme. Look at this, what happens here? Oh,
we got actually
synchronized.
Oh god.
Sorry, Julius.
Bernays very close to Fernando.
Yep, Fernando under pressure already. He was under pressure in the last race and he dealt with it very well, but he's now under pressure from a different driver.
No. Almost. It looked like he was going for it.
Yeah.
But he didn't launch it. which is actually very wise
Yep.
when thinking that place.
It's very, very mature driving to back off and decide I'll do it in another part of the track, rather than a risky move.
It looks like Fernando have a bit more speed in the straight line.
Yep. Yep.
But watch now. Playing smart.
Yep.
Waiting.
Yeah, it just looks like Fernando's got a better drive out the corner as they're coming up to Goddard's just now. So taking a tight line in there. Some people like to go wide and then cut back to get a better exit, but both taking the same line. And as you say, it looks like he's getting a better drive out the exits at the moment, Elias. So that's, I don't want to say that's saving him.
Burnett is catching in the corners.
Yep, absolutely. We've got.
Or maybe Fernando changed the setup a little bit for this race.
Absolutely.
Because he seems to lose a little bit of time. The gap comes closer in the braking zones.
We've got a Porsche that is...
Well, we got 15 Porsches.
Yeah, so... there was one sideways facing the pit entrance. I don't know if that was Meehan. I don't know what happened there. Chris Wright is down in 13th. He's had something happen.
What happened to him?
I don't know. I think it's been a while ago. I don't think the replay will let me go back that far, but he's managed to gain 12 from Topolov at the moment, but he's got 3.5 seconds to Baldo in P11 now, so he really has to push on. We're having a look just now. There's a four-way battle going on here. Bayern, Stratton and Marsh all vying for P3 at the moment. Ben Crook now 2 seconds ahead of Elias Fernando, and he doesn't have the pressure of a 5-second penalty to worry about either, so he can just drive on as hard as he wants. Oh, we've got a spinner. It seems to be Goddard's that is the issue. He's also got his wiper on. I'm not quite sure if it's raining for him and no one else, but as he's absolutely lit the back tyres up and has done a 180, almost a 360 in fact. So Federer is now down in P14.
And Cornelius with the old Porsche is having a little bit of fight with the Donkerwald.
He is indeed. Donkerwolk on the back of that older Porsche just now.
And there's 5-second penalty for Donkerwolk as we speak.
What's the penalty for? Collision, I'm assuming? For some reason I can't find it. Well, there's no description yet. Ah, right, okay.
So I come back.
Okay, we'll come back to that. We will let you know as soon as we know. Maybe the stewards have heard our commentary and decided they're not going to tell us what it's for. So Donkerwolk is 5/10ths behind at the moment, but this train behind Elias Fernando, they're all vying for P2 and P3 at the moment.
Bayern Donkerwolk goes wide. He's fighting with Cornelius.
Oh yeah, he was right on the back of the bumper of that older Porsche coming up to Goddard's. Oh, yep. He was, he didn't have much choice. He had to pull out of that, otherwise the two of them were going off. So just having a quick look to see.
I have to say, Cornelius is driving very well.
Yes.
To keep that big brother behind. It's interesting that he chose to go with the older Porsche.
Oh, and Donkerwolk goes sideways straight into the barrier. Oh, and there's a lot of damage on that car now.
That's straight nose crash.
Yep, that is 100%. That is a lot of damage for that car. So that then releases...
And now we have also update for the Donkerwolf's penalty.
Mhm.
Run into back of car 992.
That is toppled off. So that's what that
Yes.
penalty for. Elias Fernando really under pressure now. Bayern is only 4/10 behind him. Elias having to make sure he hits every apex and gets the best drive out of every corner that he can. Otherwise, Bayern is there to snap up that P3.
Yeah,
or sorry,
the
P2.
difference is that Burne can come very close on corners, but then once there's a straight, Fernando goes.
Yep.
And there's 5-second penalty for car number 1.
Yeah, that's Meekin.
Lost control of the car and blocked car 2, resulting in a collision.
Ah, right, okay. I wonder if that was the 3 cars that spun.
Yeah, probably might be.
So again, Bayern, obviously, as Julius says, it looks like Fernando has got the advantage on the straights. So what Bayern really has to do is capitalise on the corners. And you can see how close he is behind Fernando, but as soon as they get out the corner, Fernando has a stretch just on the exit. So again,
Burne just needs to hope for Fernando to make a Moll's mistake.
yep. And Cornelius has lost a place. He's lost 2 places. I don't know if he's made a mistake, but just coming up to the S's, and he very, very cleverly or mature backs out of it so he doesn't end up with an issue. But we've got a 3-way battle. We've got Chris Wright, Baldo, and we've also got Cornelius. And Baldo goes wide, and Chris Wright is through. Chris Wright goes up into P9, and he's got Cornelius in ahead of him now. Afonso is he's doing a good job. He's behind Marsh at the moment, and
Burne did small drop of dipping the tires into the grass. Didn't spun but lost little bit of
a
time.
little bit of time, yeah. And unfortunately, he was coming onto the straight, and that's the last place you want to lose any time when you're going onto a straight. So that is unfortunate. Bayern is all over the back again as we're going into the S's. Now this is where he can capitalise on
now
the...
he's gaining.
He is, absolutely.
And now he's actually closer
Yep.
than ever.
Elias goes defensive now. That's going to ruin his line coming in here. He's going to have to get the power on.
Now we watch. And now there's little bit of difference again.
Yep.
So Fernando have to breathing space.
But
Which
very
Burne
close and
still
Goddard.
can't push for the...
Fernando with a little bit of throttle oversteer there as he comes out of Goddard. But again, in the straight, he is just... somehow he's getting so much drive out of every corner that he's able to stay ahead. Oh, we've got Cornelius has been passed by Chris Wright. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, and Cornelius has lost 2 places maybe. It looks like come down to the hairpin. No, he doesn't. Oh, that's so close. Oh my goodness, Cornelius nearly took Chris Wright out there. So he did. And they're side by side almost. Baldo looking to try and get past again after dipping his tyres.
Also, one thing might be why Fernando is getting faster is if Burne is more gentle with the throttle inputs, that he's saving a little bit, that he don't floor it, and which cause him to lose a little bit of time.
Absolutely.
So he like plays it safe.
Yep, absolutely.
Because
oh, he's got
now
a great
he's
drive.
very close.
He has got a great drive. They're almost side by side as they're coming down to the hairpin. Elias again having to go. Oh, and Elias has went deep. He's had to go off the racing line to defend. Oh!
And
Bayern
now,
gets a lot of oversteer coming out of there. He's just a bit too excited.
just as we spoke.
Yep.
And there comes a little bit of oversteer.
That was just enough to let Elias get a bit of breathing space yet again. But Elias must be very aware going into the S's that is where Bayern is most likely to strike. So it must be in his mind. Certainly when I'm racing, that comes into my mind. If there's a certain section of the track, a car is always catching me. You then get to that section, you're like, oh my god, here they come again. So, but Elias
Yeah,
is
exactly.
he's a seasoned veteran, Elias, as much as he's young. So again, the pressure's not getting to him. He's just lapping up that pressure at the moment. And Chris Wright is 2 seconds behind Thompson at the moment. Now, Thompson had that nightmare start from the pit. And he's 23 seconds behind Afonso. And again, here we go again. So up the straight, Elias has got the advantage. But watch this as they come into the braking. Heavy on the braking. And Bayern just able to creep up. Bit of bounce off there.
I reckon soon something happens because Byrne hasn't really tried
no
to overtake.
Oh, but
he's just been like,
he's been there, but he's
here
not really
I am,
pushed.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure he will try.
Absolutely. I mean, he must know the lines Elias has taken, so does he then have to switch it up, go on a racing line that he hasn't practiced before, to try and gain an advantage coming through the S's and coming down to the hairpin? That is, I think, is the only way he's going to get past, because every other part of the track, Elias has got it nailed. And we can see behind that, Stratton has got Marsh only 3/10 behind him in that green Porsche.
That they're running very close.
They are very, very close. A puff of dirt as Bayern is so close coming up here now. Look at this. Oh,
now Byrne is also very close.
Yeah, he is touching distance of that back bumper.
Now I reckon it will happen. But let's see.
Well, if we can stick close on the toe, yeah, absolutely.
Pushing in the chicane. There's no point in doing that. I just want to wait here.
If he can gain the same that he does every single time he comes through here, no, he's not really gaining anything. Elias has got that nailed.
It looked like Byrne had a little bit too much of bump there.
Yep. And again, so tight, but look how quickly. Oh, another bit of oversteer. Bayern trying to get onto that power as soon as possible, but it's then killing him.
And now it's last lap.
It is the last lap. Poor Ben Crook, the leader for both races, has had zero airtime because he's 9 seconds ahead of Fernando. He's,
And full points.
Yes, absolutely. A full collection. Now, Elias has just got one more lap. He has got a bit of breathing space now, so he can just concentrate.
I think Fernando can take this.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Elias has got this. Commentator's curse again coming up, but we've got Marsh, who's very close again, but he's not able to capitalise. These cars seem to get close to each other, but there's just doesn't seem to be an easy way of going to get past.
Yeah, there's no advantage over the other cars. When you think about difference between Mercedes and Audi, they have those differences.
Yep.
There can be in the braking and but here it's all about driver and those little tweaks in the setup.
Yep, absolutely. And obviously if you move out of the toe of the car in front of you to try and pass them, you then just get hit with all the wind that's coming, all that turbulence that's coming towards you, because you've nothing in front of you. So this is how it happened. But here we have Ben Crook. You won't recognise him because it's probably the first time we've actually seen him tonight. He has taken P1 in both races.
2 out of 2.
2 out of 2. Take a bow, Ben Crook. Elias, I think, is going to hang on to this. Again, he's just... Yeah, he's taking that. Bayern taking P3. And there's a big pile of cars behind him as well. So Chris Wright's managed to come from last up to P8 as he's just coming through the Melbourne hairpin. And oh, there's a commentator's curse right there. Almost sends it 360 degrees.
Yeah, you jinx it.
I am a jinx. I completely admit I'm a jinx. There's some drivers I cannot even look at now without them spinning off as soon as the camera goes on them. Chris Wright takes P8 and battled his way back up again. So Yeah, do you want to run through the finishing order, Julius, and I'll start having a look at the driver interviews?
Yes, so in the race 2 we have a winning driver of Ben Krug. In second place we have Elias Fernando. In P3 we have Byrne. In P4 we have Daniel Strading. In P5 there's Mars. In P6 is Afonso. In P7 it's Thompson. In P8 it's Wright. P9 goes for Paldo, and rounding up in top 10 with the older Porsche is Cornelius. Then in P11 we have Donkerwalk. In P12 there's Feder. In P13 Topalov, and rounding up this second start is Mark Meekan.
It's been a really good race, both race 1 and race 2. The battles that we've seen, the battles of trying to get past each other, it just shows you the struggle when every car is almost, I'd say almost evenly matched. They do have certain things that they can change in the setup, but it's not the same as a GT3 car where you can change almost any part of the car in terms of geometry and toes and, you know, everything that you can change. So that was fun to steward. Ollie, did you fall asleep or something? Did you drop your crayon on the floor? I mean, I don't... Wibbly wobbly. What technical term in stewarding is that? David Feder, good race. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, but you know, these things happen. You put the practice in, and that's all that counts. So it is. So I'm going to have a look on Discord. If you are a driver from the race, then please feel free to jump into the awaiting interview room, and we can pick you up from there and have a quick chat with you. How are you listening to me? Aye, there's microphones in the steward's box. Do you not know? Do you not know this? So yes, in Discord there's an interview waiting room. You can join that, and then us commentators we can pick you up from there and drop you into the commentary box. We'll give it a few minutes. In fact, here we go. The man we have been talking about all night. The man we have been talking about all night, Mr. Elias Fernando. How are you, Elias? Are you there, Elias?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear.
Yeah. Wow. You really know how to soak pressure up, don't you?
Yeah, that was stressful in the end.
Absolutely.
Both the races was they were on me the whole race.
Absolutely. What? So the second race we noticed you were getting better drives out the corner, or certainly the straights. You were able to pull away from Bayern in race 2. Was that just down to a setup, or was that down to just the way you were managing the car?
I think it just was the driving.
Yeah.
I didn't really do much change in the setup between the races, so.
And
it's definitely the driving.
Just a driving style. And have you raced the Porsche Cup cars much?
No, this is first time.
Wow, that is a very impressive. I mean, we can take our eyes off what was going on. We genuinely at the start of race 1 we didn't know what Ben Crooks's pace was, so we obviously were hoping and assuming that you'd be battling him from P1, but obviously he was off in the distance in both races. So how is it to drive the Porsche Cup car?
It's fun.
Is it fun?
Yes.
Even without traction control?
Yeah, it's it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, they look beautiful cars, they sound beautiful, and it's so close racing because although you can change some setups or some parts of the setup, you can't actually change it as much as a GT3 car. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So it was. I mean, there was battles all over the field from top, middle, back to the back of the pack for it. How do you feel both races went for you?
It went really good.
I think
much
so.
better that I would have thought it was going to be. So
yeah, and to have not raced in a car like that before, and then just to drop in and race. I'm assuming Donnington's a very familiar track to you.
I've driven it a bit, but I've driven it in LFM, but with GT3s, but
Yep.
not really more than that.
Yeah.
And also the M2 Cup in
Oh,
TOGA.
right, okay. Wow, you sicken me. I couldn't get into that car and keep it in a straight line. Never mind jumping it and be competitive to come P2 in both races. That's just, it's just amazing. I mean, Julius, you'd like to ask anything to Fernando?
Yes. First of all, congratulations. Both starts in P2. So basic math means you're second in the championship. So next week the track will be Brand Hatch. How you feel about that? Do you like the track? Is it strong for you or do you struggle?
I think it's going to be a bit of the same, but I've driven there more, and I like the track also more. But yeah, I'm confident.
And have you thrown away the McLaren keys, or are you still driving the McLaren?
I'm still driving the
McLaren.
McLaren.
Good man. I'll be hitting you up for some tips sometime soon. Yeah, I mean you're racing obviously in the multi-class as well. So do you get much time to practice for each competition?
No, not really.
But I guess when you get to a certain level, it's more about the car than it is a track, because you know the braking points, you know when you're turning in, you know the tracks, you know where it's bumpy, you know where to stay. So it's more just getting the car right from that point of view, I suppose.
Yeah, it's definitely that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, congratulations. Absolutely outstanding 2 races that you had there. You absolutely deserve to go and, I don't know, soak in a bath of ice or have a drink of some kind. But many congratulations, Elias, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, there we go. Absolutely. Oh, and don't forget to smash that like button. Chris, if you're still on, you're obviously welcome to come into the interview waiting room as well. Have a chat with us about things. But yeah, I mean, I'm dumbfounded that, I mean, a man like Elias has just literally jumped into a car he doesn't really know and has driven like he has. I don't know how you feel about that, Julius.
Absolutely mad.
That is just crazy, but it just shows the level Elias is at to be able to do that kind of thing. I couldn't in any way, shape and form. I've driven over 750 laps in the McLaren. I jumped into the Mercedes wanting to change cars. I did 250 laps with the Mercedes and I still couldn't get used to it. So it just shows you the different levels that we have here in TOGA. So yeah, so that's us done for tonight. On Sunday night we have the 24 hours and 2.4. Still a little bit unsure. We'll confirm before Sunday if we'll have commentary for that. If there's no commentary, then it'll just be a field of view, or there'll be you know, just an auto cam showing what it's like. This series is mental. Love you too, Owen. Love you too. Yeah. Julius, is there anything you want to say about how things have went tonight?
Well, it was good racing as expected here in TOGA. We don't expect anyone to like playing around and being a dummy. So I mean, clean racing, no big issues. Obviously some, but it's part of racing, and we see a couple good fights. And Donnington is also a track where, well, you can pass, but it's not like the easiest track to overtake.
No, No.
So,
No, absolutely.
in
it's-
overall, I'd say it was a pretty typical, comparing it to a real life. It
Yep.
was very typical Porsche Cup race.
Mhm.
Close racing, not anything too dramatic happening.
Yep.
It was, I'd say, it was a 5 out of 5 race.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. So yeah, thank you so much from Julius and myself for watching. Thank you for everyone who's liked. Don't forget, all of the details for our Discord, our social media are in the description below. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, and you can become a channel member on YouTube as well for that. So, Julius, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been a blast having you in the commentary box. This is our first commentary, Julius and myself, so it's been a pleasure, Julius.
The pleasure is on my side, but
Ah.
if you call me one more time Julian, I will not commentate with you again.
I'm going to add it to my autocorrect thing. So anytime I put Julian or anything else, it's going to say Julius, hopefully.
Well, simply thing, post-it lap, post it, and just Julius and put it in the wall.
Yeah.
Then you always, when you sit down, you see it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, and we will see you next week for some more amazing races. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.